Welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I'm your guide and host through the show. Today is our monthly series called Better Business with Ben Lalez. Ben Lalez is with Compass, and he runs the Ben Lalez team. He's one of the top teams here in the Chicagoland area, does several $100 million in sales every year, he and his team. And he comes on every month very generously to talk about what he's doing to motivate his team, to keep his team growing, and also just advice in general to our audience. He's a big, longtime listener, and we are super honored to have him. BenLalez.com is where you go. Ben Lalez team is where you find him on Instagram. We will have links to that in the show notes. And I do encourage you to follow him on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, because we're going to be talking about social media today. And I think you're going to be actually talking about what you do. And it's nice that people can actually then absorb your content. So Ben Lalez team is where you find him. You can go to his website. All of his social is linked there as well. But Ben, welcome to back to Better Business with Ben.
Yeah, I like a long-time listener, first time. This is not my first time. This is my 10th time probably on the show now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm excited to talk about social. I'm by no means like an influencer, no matter how hard I try. But I have a lot to share. Kind of like, obviously, the trajectory, my growth trajectory can be linked to social media.
We should also set the stage that you, as a team leader, which is not always the case, you actually do a lot of the content. You actually star in the content. You write the content. You have a team that is helping produce it, but you are actually creating a lot of content for your team.
Yes, that's exactly right, because I believe in it, and I believe it's the way that people want to be reached, because it all starts with the audience. But let's backtrack for a second, DJ, okay? Let me ask you a question before we get started. What is the best CRM?
It's the one you're using.
Yeah, it's the one you use. So, like, as we talk to people about social media, any strategy, right, is going to be better than no strategy. Anything that you are actually going to do and use is, going to work better than, just throwing, something at the wall. Now,
we should also mention too that there are many different channels and ways to distribute social media content, and really different strategies for each one of those channels if you really wanted to do it, effectively. So maybe you're also saying, maybe don't choose all the social media channels to focus on. Maybe pick one or two. I'd probably even one. Where's my ideal audience hanging out is probably the question there.
Yeah, and okay, we're talking about social media. This is really, really broad. So the way I've looked at it is you kind of have like various stages. Let's call you, DJ, are very much an expert in social media at this point. You have a podcast. I don't know if you do that on video, one of the largest real estate podcast platforms in the world, the country. And then you have amateurs, someone who's never put out a video in their entire life. But I kind of want to link something very quickly. So let's go back in time, 2017. I was doing $4 million in sales. Okay? I had never put out a single video, right? But in 2018, I put out 50 videos, and my sales went from 4 to 14. Okay. Then in 2019, I put out like 120-ish videos.
Wow.
And sales went from 14 to 23.
And you saw a direct correlation between the video content and the growth?
So here's the problem with social media and kind of all marketing. You should probably know this by now. Is it's impossible to draw a direct line from videos to actual sales.
Unless you're getting that call, I just saw your video, which you probably rarely get that call.
So I know exactly how many times I've gotten that call. Do you want to know how many?
How many?
Guess.
A dozen.
12.
Ah.
So 12 times since 2017. It's 2025 right now.
Hundreds of videos in your wake.
Yeah. So
maybe thousands.
4,000 videos.
4,000
to date now. Right.
So
we cut them all.
So you're not gonna get the call, is what you're saying.
So I've gotten that call and saying, "Hey Ben, I just saw XYZ video, and I want you to be my real estate agent." I call that a stranger.
Yeah.
But you know what happens way more often is, I'll give you an example. Okay. So one of my best friends, his name is David. Okay. David went to college. His college roommate his name is Brad. So the way these algorithms work is they think if David likes Ben's content, let's serve some up to Brad. Pretty logical.
Sure.
Right? So Brad reaches out to David and asks, hey, is your friend Ben legit? David, being the good friend that he is, says, yeah, Ben's the man, right? Or some variation of that. So now Brad has the confidence to reach out to me and introduce me to his mom, Ruth. Now, is Ruth Brad's mom? Is she a stranger? Certainly, right? But that's pretty close. It's my best friend's college roommate's mom.
And we should mention that Ruth is not watching your content.
No, I don't think Ruth
possibly,
has,
but
she
unlikely.
Well, I've talked about Ruth many times before, and neither Brad nor Ruth has ever reached out.
Gotcha.
So, and let me tell you what Ruth represents. So, I helped Ruth sell her home in the suburbs, buy one in the city, and then she's referred me 2 friends, both whom have sold, and then they moved out of the state. Okay, so she's responsible for somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think it's like $2.5 million of total sales. It's like $40,000.
Amazing.
So I like to tell people that there's this, I've coined a term, the fallacy of the stranger, where everyone thinks that they're going after some random person that they have absolutely no connection to, and that's who they're trying to drive into their content. And I'm jealous of those people. You and I both know people that have made that happen.
And that path is usually done most often on YouTube, and that's a long play, and it is a grind.
It's a lot of work, and honestly, DJ, I'm trying my hardest. But listen, I know that I'm not Ryan Serhant. Right. I am a normal real estate agent in the city, but I also know that social media has become mandatory, not optional. And here's your first biggest tip. Can I curse on this?
Sure.
I can. So every single time, this time included, I don't want to do this. Video has gotten so mundane for me. But you know what I tell myself? Right before this, I go, Ben, excuse me, fuck your mood, Ben. It doesn't matter. You have to do this. The same way that you don't want to cold call, you don't always have to be in the mood.
I don't want to do push-ups in the gym.
Yeah, you don't always have to be in the mood to do social. But if you want to compete with the DJ Parises and the Ben Lalez of the world, you're going to have to. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. That's the case.
Yeah.
So the question is, and I think for everyone, depending on who you are, and I'm going to go through if you're a beginner, intermediate, and expert, and what you can and should be doing. So, if you take a look at my content, if you're watching this right now, I am assuming some people are like, that's a lot. Podcast setup, background, mics. We have one. Can we look at this camera together?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 cameras.
Yeah, 3 camera shoot.
Yeah, this has got to be super intimidating.
Yeah.
Right? But if you are just getting started, you've never shot a video, can we invite people to do it right now?
Sure.
Let's put some money on the line.
Okay.
If anyone listening gets out their phone and shoots something saying, hey, this is my first video. I want to thank Ben Lalez and DJ Paris for giving me the confidence to do this. If you're watching, I would love to be your real estate agent. Something in that vein, we'll return the shout out.
Absolutely.
Deal?
Sure.
So someone who has like a new platform.
Yep.
I have X thousand followers. You have
thousands
of followers. We'll repost it, and we'll be that catalyst for you.
Great.
Is that a deal?
Happy to do it.
Yeah. So if you are an amateur, it doesn't require much. If you want to just get started, your phone is good enough. The problem is sometimes the audio isn't so good.
Right.
So if you're going to invest on Amazon, how much is a mic?
A lav mic? Yeah. Less than $100.
I think you could probably get one. Jeremy, how much is a cheap mic? It's probably about $50 is my bet. Right? And then all of a sudden you have really great sound. Now, you're probably doing that for a long time. And everyone has asked me, like, when do you step up? Right? When did you didn't always have like some crazy setup. When did you have to, $25 says Jeremy. when did you level up and know that you needed to take your real estate game to the next level?
Yeah. So with my podcast, I had a $50 mic and a $100 board. And today I have a $400 mic and a $100 board.
And staff.
And yes, so staff is the big thing.
Yeah. So when did you have to level up?
It was at least 2 years.
2 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I tell people,
And I did all the production. I did everything myself.
by yourself. That's
And this is not my job.
so
Right.
it's pretty easy. Is when you don't have enough time.
Yep.
Is when you start upgrading, whether that's in software, in people, etc. And that can usually be tied to sales.
You'll know when it's that time.
Yeah. So if you're out doing showings and you're making money and social media is a priority, that's when you start hiring people. Now, who do you hire first? How much money is it going to cost, etc. is usually the next question,
Mhm.
right? And God bless the day and age that we're in. Is there's a lot of digital creators out there, and there's a lot of digital platforms. AI is certainly something that needs to be talked about. But you could probably, and if you don't have someone, reach out to us. You could probably get a videographer for a half day for how much?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I never get videographers.
I think you could probably get a videographer for a half day for $250 to $400 here in Chicago.
Pretty reasonable.
And from there, depending on how hands-on you want to be, right? So there, again, the videographer will probably offer editing services, so you can chop that up into X number of reels or short form content, or edit it into long form. But in this day and age, depending, again, on how much work you want to do, you can find editors overseas or software that can chop up that long form into short form for you. 4 hours of content, if you've already thought it out, planned it out, can yield 30 pieces of content,
Yeah.
something like that. And congratulations, you have, I don't know, between 8 and it could be the whole 8 weeks and 50 weeks of content, depending on how much you want to spread it
And what do
out.
you think we're paying for that editing?
Editing can be very, very affordable depending on the route you go.
Yeah. The whole world can bid on this too.
Yeah. And we've talked about this in previous episodes. You're familiar with Upwork?
Sure. I use it all the time.
Yeah. So we use Upwork religiously. And sometimes you get what you pay for. You have to do some research. It takes some time, right? And it comes back to, if you want, I'm going to plug it. If you want to jump all of the learning, you can just come to a place like contentclubchicago.com. Come to Content Club and they handle it for you, right? So you just sit down, they edit it, lighting, sound, etc.
Sure.
But if you want to save some money and do it yourself, you can handle all of that stuff pretty reasonably. And your best friend ChatGPT can probably coach you through exactly what those steps are.
Yeah, and how to find the right people.
Yeah, and yeah. How many times have you failed on Upwork, though?
It's happened.
Yeah.
But more often than not, I get people that are really, I know what to look for.
Now you know it. You know what to
There's a
look
bit
for.
of a learning curve.
Yeah. So if you're willing to go through that learning curve, then you'll be great. But here's kind of where I want people to think about. So I don't know if you can, Jeremy. I think so. Jeremy is our editor. He's our tech. He's listening right now. But I wonder if we could put my first ever video like right here.
Great.
We can send it to you, and guess what? It's horrible. It's really bad. Lighting's bad. Sound is bad. I don't know who my audience is, which is what I want to talk about next. But it's shit. But 2017, we're here in 2024, and you can actually very clearly see the evolution. Now I'm way more comfortable on camera. Mics. You have like a perfect setup. And I'm actually an investor in a social media space where we're making money off of it. So from 2017 to 2024, with your favorite word, consistency, this is kind of what happens. And here's the thing, DJ, that I want people to really understand is, what are people hoping for when they start putting out social media content?
Engagement.
Okay, and which will lead to
Clients.
Which will lead to
Money.
Okay. Um, I started doing this in 2017, and that's what I was hoping for too. But there's so many ancillary benefits that people don't understand when they start doing this. And I think you probably understand this too.
Oh, I didn't make $1 for years.
But I'm interested to hear from your podcast, from the podcasting side. I'm going to give you some runway here, but I didn't understand that this would be, I'm a team lead. I didn't realize that this would be a lead generator for recruiting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't understand that
Agent attractor.
This kicked off, once a year I go on speaking engagements.
Yeah,
now.
me too.
Yeah, and it's often around social media, etc. And you don't know, right? I was actually just watching Tommy Choi's content, and all of a sudden he's a fucking food influencer because he saw that when he started talking about his favorite restaurants, that got the most engagement, and now that's what he does.
Yeah.
And I bet you pretty soon he's gonna make some money from
Sure.
something along those lines. So whoever's watching or listening, you don't know what's gonna come of it.
Right.
You have no clue. So my point is that, again, it doesn't matter if you want to do it, you have to do it, and there's a whole host of ancillary benefits that come with it. I'm curious, DJ, you start this podcast, I'm assuming for recruiting purposes?
The original thought, and I just got interviewed about this, was that this would be the way that I could recruit local agents here in Chicago because I would feature top agents here in Chicago exclusively. It wouldn't be a nationwide podcast where we featured people outside of my area, and it would get me notoriety here. People would come in. Oh, I want to work at the firm with the guy who's talking to these top agents. And it's a nice thought. And ultimately, I think it does lead to that 7 years later in a very sort of in the same way that you get those 12 phone calls.
Ruth.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what it has got me is maybe I don't get those calls like you don't get those calls. I just saw your video. I get people that come up to me when I am out in public and not just like walking down the street, but if I'm at an event, if I'm somewhere where other realtors are, people will come up to me and say, I listen to your show.
Yeah, you're super recognizable.
Yes.
You're probably the most recognizable non-agent in the real estate community.
Which I didn't intend to do. I'm not comfortable doing that. I want to sit at a desk all day and not be out in public. And what's funny is when I do go out, I do get a lot of that attention.
So what has been like some benefits? Okay, you start for recruiting, but what has it turned into unexpectedly?
Yeah, well, it's turned into, it pays for 3 staff members because I have sponsors who pay to be on the show, who sell products and services to agents who want access to my audience. I read commercials for them. I'm sure I'm doing it on this this episode as well. And pause.
Insert commercial.
Yeah, insert commercial here. And that's been amazing. And I have these great relationships. I'll tell you what else it's done is because I've interviewed agents all over the country and the very top agents, in many cases, some of the top agents in the world when it comes to their revenue, I have a lot of friends now who are these really big movers and shakers. And let's just say the world collapses, I lose my job, we go out of business or something. I have a lot of people I can call and say, hey, can you help me? And so there's that. I have also, a lot of people have just wanted to learn about where I work because I recruit realtors here at Kale Realty because of the podcast. So yes, it does happen downstream. And it's also, I get a lot of just people saying thank you. And so from a wanting to feel good about the contributions I make, that's also been super significant. So does it pay my mortgage? It does not. I don't intend for it to. It'd be nice maybe one day if it could, but it pays for 3 other people's mortgages, and that's really cool. And that means a lot to me, and it means a lot to them, and it helps agents along the way, and it makes me a lot of friends, and it's really fun. So there's a lot of reasons to like it, and my boss lets me do it, which is really the best, most.
You don't have a boss. Get out of here.
Well, the person the person that signs my checks when I'm not signing the checks is very grateful that we do it as well because it helps our brand. And you're right. I am not somebody that likes to create a lot of video on social media, and I need to get more comfortable with that. I mean, I do it for the show, but I like doing the audio side of it, and maybe I'm better at that as well. However, it is still something that I need. If I don't go outside my desk, I sit at my desk all day. So if I didn't do something on social media, whether it's this podcast or making short form video for agents, I'm not the guy that goes and schmoozes at events. I don't enjoy doing that stuff. It's not for me. And
That's
I'm
how
also
we connected.
I'm also yeah, I'm also not an agent, so I don't have as much in common. Funny that I speak to top agents. I don't really have a lot in common with top agents other than they've been on my show or they listen to my show.
Okay, I have an idea. Okay, but you're actually perfect because you are a person that, you know, is resistant to going outside of your comfort zone with
Sure.
this podcast and video. Okay, so here's the exercise that we go through. So let's use DJ Paris, Delphin Paris, as a case study. So the first thing that we want to figure out for you and for everyone listening is you need to figure out two things. What is your brand?
Yep.
So I'll tell you mine so that you can.
Yeah.
And who is your target? And you need to get extraordinarily specific. So for me, the brand that we have curated is called The Approachable Expert. That's everything that we do. And before we put out content, we want to make sure that that image is getting across. Okay, so let's pivot. Do you have a brand?
I do.
Oh, so what is it?
So for the podcast, which is what we're on, I have two different, sort of masters that I serve. One of my masters is the local master when it comes to recruiting. I have different efforts that I employ to recruit agents. This would not be the most direct path to doing that. So we're going to talk about where 99% of our audience probably does not live in this area. So I'll talk about the 99% that's listening right now. These are agents. I would call them the coachable agents who look at top producers and who say, I want to do what they're doing.
So that's your target.
Correct.
But what's the DJ Paris brand?
Oh, who am I? So what do I bring across? I think
and name it is what I try to encourage people to do.
Yeah, I would say I'm a likable, sort of empathic individual who likes bringing help and value to agents who are struggling.
Yeah. So a word that comes to mind, it's like you want to come across as, and you do already, as trustworthy, right? So trustworthy,
honest.
Yeah, trustworthy, honest, and like it's guide comes to mind. And you actually say it at the front of your show.
I do.
I'm your host and your guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my brand.
The trustworthy guide. Okay. And you already touched on so you got that check brand. Now your target. Right, and you just said it.
Yeah, I estimate it's perhaps 5% of all the agents in America, because those are the ones that take it seriously enough, who look to these top agents, these avatars, and go, how do they do that? But maybe they don't have access.
Yep.
So I give them access to, or they're too busy to get access, or they get rejected by the people that they're interested in talking to. I don't get rejected by those people, so I can get access to them. All I ask is you listen to my show, tell a friend, and that's how the whole machine keeps running. But yeah,
you're kind of like a gate opener, like a door opener, so that people can get a sneak peek in. I'll tell you my target, and again, super specific. Mine is first-time home buyers and sellers who are college educated and financially savvy. Right.
So people that know how to save, who are looking to transition from renting to buying.
The other piece is like when I'm making some assumptions here, but when you're speaking to that person, that's, they're going to resonate with it more. And that is usually the people with the kind of money that can, afford in, Bucktown, Lincoln Park, Lakeview. It is what it is. I don't want to get into any, dark water here. But what I would challenge people to do is once they have their brand and their target, is you don't put it out unless it's check and check.
Correct.
It has to go through this
100%.
It has to go through a filter before it goes out.
That's how I do all my content as well.
Yeah. So I kind of want to talk about what works as far as social media. And you have podcast guy and you have video guy, right? And I'm curious, again, because you have two people, again, I'm nowhere near your level, like in video that you are with podcast. But I guess if someone wanted to start a podcast and do it really, really well, what works?
So what works is, to your point, is you have to get hyper specific about who are you serving and what are their problems, how do you solve them, and how do you deliver that in a way that's better than what other people are already doing. So no different than video content creation. It's who's my audience, what's the messaging that they need to hear that they're going to be interested in hearing? How do I deliver that in a way that's accessible and that's better than what people are already doing? Because if you're doing what everyone else is doing, sort of in its at its level of engagement, then you're really spinning your own wheels. And that's the challenge: is can you be better than the existing? Because there's competition, and you have to be better than your competition if you want to grow your show or grow your brand.
It's interesting. And what I think will be interesting for the audience is you're talking from your place right now
Yeah.
after how many years of experience?
7.
So it's funny, mine is 7 also or 7 or 8. We can only talk from our frame of reference. And I'm going to gut check you. I want you to do the same. Is I would argue that getting started and putting it out and exercising those muscles, it might be more important on the front end than making sure that you come with the most engaging idea.
Yeah. So let's be clear. You will not create anything worthwhile for a long time.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
if you know what it should be, if you know that it's in other words, you have to have a level of taste where taste is subjective, but you need to know that your taste is ultimately, if I can get to that competency level in how I create content, that I absolutely, if I can get there, and it might take years, but if I can do that, if I can match what's in my head about how it should look and how it should sound, then, and I can willing to put in the time, then I will actually have success. Yes, and you have to be willing to fail for years, maybe not years, but certainly in my case, years. And that's just the way it is. It's like with anything, you have to be willing to put out really bad stuff for a long time and not let that dissuade you from continuing to put out stuff. That's the Mr. Beast method. He will tell you that. He's #1 YouTuber, right? He says your first 200 videos are going to be embarrassingly bad.
I know it better than anyone. Yes, however, when you are in real estate and you're trying to accomplish the end goal of turning a corner and becoming some form of influencer, what I'm here to tell you is the worst case scenario is your friends and family see it.
Right, which is a huge win.
A huge win. Okay, now let's flip over to the video side. What works when you're getting started? And I have the benefit of having done everything the wrong way 5 or 6 times. I don't even know if I'm doing it right now.
Me too.
Yeah, just trying my best, right? If I could start over, what I would do is try to marry 2 things that I love. One of them is real estate. So for you, it might, it should be, hopefully it's real estate.
Sure.
And something else. And I don't care if it is art, ballet, chess.
Passion.
A passion of some kind. And really do your best to marry the 2. I actually had this idea this week, or last week, where if I could start over. So one of my passions is basketball. I play 3 times a week. I'm a washed up old guy, and I play in these games. What I wish I would have done, and I think I might still do it, is there are, in Illinois, some unbelievable houses with basketball courts in them.
Sure.
And I want to go and, actually Don McKenna has one that's unbelievable in Burridge. I was looking at it today. And I go and I play horse against Don McKenna.
Amazing.
At the basketball court.
It'd be amazing.
And, highlight the place and marry 2 of my life's great
Love
joys.
that.
That's what I wish I would have done, as opposed to, if you're a buyer, you should do this. If you're a seller, you should do this, which worked and is great, but it gets stale very, very quickly.
I will tell you, I know people who get all of their leads or most of their leads from social media who never talk about real estate, who only talk about their interests. And or even better, we'll go even more in the middle. So it is tangentially real estate related. I know people who talk just about their local market. You do this, but literally talk non-real estate stuff about their local market. Like, where's the best dentist in my area? Where's the best hairstylist?
Yeah.
Where's the best pet store? Things that aren't necessarily real estate, but that people who live in that area, and again, they're not going to go viral. They're not going to get famous. They're not going to be an influencer. They're going to become micro-famous. They're going to become famous at the local level, which is what you want as a realtor, and they're going to be important to the community that they serve and the businesses that they serve, and they don't even think about real estate. They just say, how do I create content that people who want to live here care about?
Yep. And you have the benefit. We have the benefit of hindsight now.
Sure. I wish I would have thought about that. Sure.
Yeah, I wish I had DJ telling me that that's what I should do when I was 25. Here I am, 38, right? And honestly, I think that it's enough, right? I think we've delivered enough to tell people you have to do it.
Yep.
Brand, target, some simple ways to get started, some simple ideas that hopefully juices get flowing. And I think I just want to drive the point home is this is going to be a long-term play, right? 7 years for you, 7-ish years for me. If you can find a way to enjoy it and start there, right? So you don't, instead of saying, oh, I don't want to do this, 10 out of 10 times, you're only saying, oh, I don't want to do this 2 out of 10 times, then you're going to have that longevity because you care, you want to.
And if you're posting content with things that you're interested in, like you said, passion, whether it's basketball, cooking, Tommy Choi's case, I just started after 30 years of playing guitar in a more traditional sense for rock and roll style music with classical or with acoustic or electric. I said, I want to go and learn classical guitar. I specifically to ultimately be able to play flamenco guitar, which is a style of Spanish guitar. But in order to do that, you really have to have a strong classical foundation.
Better business with Ben next time.
So
you're bringing your guitar.
So I'm happy to. So I'm not happy to always show people the imperfections of my playing, which is absolutely, I've been playing for 30 years and this is like learning an instrument, an entirely new instrument. It's so, it's so frustrating but I know that's good for me. So talk about getting outside your comfort zone. Nobody wants to make videos. Nobody's comfortable behind the camera. So for you, those of you listening, you don't have to be. It doesn't matter. And you don't have to worry about the quality being so good. You just have to put it out something that you think has one little modicum of interest to somebody out there that you want to attract to your sphere, or who's related to somebody, like you said, who's a Ruth. So for me, maybe putting, again, for me to create more video content for my social media channels, for either my recruiting or for this podcast or for both, maybe it does make sense for me to put me practicing some of my classical guitar, not to show off, because that's the last thing I would ever want to do is say, look at how cool I am. And people who play guitar tend to want to do that. So that's not me. So I have to figure out a way that's authentic and doesn't come across as, me trying to say, look at how cool this is, because it isn't really, especially it's classical guitar. It's really not cool. But it shows that I have its interest. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to be sort of bad at something, but also persevere through it. And I think that inspires people, whatever the interest is, like you with basketball, to say that even though, you're technically a middle-aged person, right?
Hey, easy.
Right. Well, I am too. And I didn't start working out till 6 years ago, 7 years ago now. But anyway, but I get inspired by people who are doing things, and especially that they're doing things outside of their immediate industry. So I think that's great. I think I should put out this content. It's not related to helping agents become better at real estate.
Sure it is.
Well, it is in the sense that it's talking about what this conversation.
How to improve, but it's also, how to improve.
And how to get better.
And you don't have to be consistent. You don't have to watch podcasts. You don't have to go get a coach.
No.
Of course you do. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could talk about this forever. DJ, can I do the outro?
Let's do it. But let's give people a task. So let's go back to this. So everybody who's listening, yes, you might already be doing content. Are you doing content around a passion that's outside of specifically a real estate related, trying to, answer a question or educate people about real estate? So maybe we should create a to-do for people. Mm-hmm. So let's think about what.
Well, we already had one to do for people, and if they post a story or a reel or
tag
whatever,
us in it.
If they tag both DJ or top producer,
top agent interviews.
Top agent interviews.
Just search for Keeping It Real. You'll find it.
Yeah, or the Ben Lalez team. We will share it as a story.
Yeah.
Free views, free followers.
I'll even make a video for you.
Okay.
How about that?
So that's one to do. And I think the second to do, and if we're talking about video or podcast, I guess,
sure.
Right? You have the podcast king, is, okay, what would first step be for podcast if someone has been thinking about podcasts?
Okay, come up with a topic. Come up with 10 minutes of something that you want to talk about. That is something that you think is of interest to someone else. around a very, very hyper-specific passion. That's all you got to do. I don't care if it's, you enjoy researching collectibles on eBay. Even if it's that, and it's like, oh, I look at stamps or coins, or it doesn't even have to be something in the cool category, because there's someone else out there who is waiting for somebody to make a podcast or a video about that particular passion.
And I'm gonna say similar something for video is, and if you want to email me, cool. It's ben@benlalezteam.com, and I'll critique it, right? So real estate has to be one, I think.
Absolutely.
For marry it with another passion.
Yep.
And come up with an idea. And as DJ was talking to me, or just talking now, let's say you're really into stamps or chess or whatever the case may be. If you want to marry it with real estate, you very, very easily could.
Sure.
Like the best stamp collections that clients have, the coolest chess sets, that are in listings, the best, if you're a cook, the most interesting kitchen X that I've seen in listings, etc. Basketball, we kind of already gave it. Athletes' homes, or whatever the case may be, send it to me and we'll workshop it together.
Love that. Yeah, and let's not make it a podcast. So for any of you aspiring podcasters, there are so many steps involved with putting a podcast together, distributing it. It's just a lot. Even if you're really wanting to put the time in. If you want that, you can contact me. I'll help you through that, or I'll give you some time. But what's really easy is to take your phone and turn it around and shoot a 30-second, 60-second video about one thing that either showcases your interest or something about you in real estate, and just do that, because that is easy. There's no big editing there. There's no big lift. We can all do that. The podcast thing is a lot. So if you want to do that, my hat's off to you. But
or
trust
just come
me,
to Content Club and we'll handle all of your podcast, everything for you.
Well, here's the biggest problem with podcasting is that you have to figure out how to distribute it, and you have to figure out how to get the message across that you even have this thing. And that means you have to do it on social, which means you might as well do social media video, because that's a lot easier. And there's billions.
That's why I was like, you have to do a video podcast. That's
I
why
know.
we're here right now.
We are doing a video podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I didn't for so many years, because I thought, oh no, I'm an audio guy. And it's like, oh, well, obviously a lot more people are watching videos and listening to podcasts.
You've got a voice for radio and a face for the movies, DJ.
Podcasts will ultimately go the way of physical books. I absolutely believe that. As much as I hate to say that, they will absolutely go the way of physical books. They will disappear.
Audio only podcasts.
Audio only podcasts will eventually be like, remember when we used to listen to podcasts? I know we think, no, people are going to need them on their commutes to their jobs. No, they won't. They will be watching things.
Autonomous vehicles.
Autonomous vehicles will totally change that. I'm telling you, don't start a podcast now. Really, I wouldn't. I would absolutely. If I could
start a video podcast.
If I could, yes, start a video podcast. That is. It's not even the future. It's absolutely what you should be doing today. We have enough podcasts.
Yeah. And
also, I don't want the competition.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Take us out, DJ.
No. Well, you said you would do that.
What's that? Oh, I was just messing around.
Okay. Well, I'll do it. Anyway.
Thank you very much for. Here, let me try. Thank you very much for joining DJ Paris and Ben Lalez on the Keeping It Real podcast, the only real estate podcast for real estate agents by real estate agents.
Sure, that's good.
I'm a real estate agent.
Close enough.
This was Better Business with Ben. I am Ben Lalez. And don't forget to, if you enjoy this podcast, make sure that you engage with our sponsors. Without them, we're not able to do what we do.
Thank you to Content Club here in Chicago for donating the space, giving us this space and this time. This is not lost on me. This is a very big deal. So super thank you to Content Club. If you are a local Chicago agent and you do not have a production studio, and I know you don't, I don't have one either, you need to reach out to these guys. They can just do it all for you, and it's not that expensive. It's absolutely worth it. Don't try to do everything yourself. I wish I could have told myself that 7 years ago.
If you're a real estate agent and you're looking for a brokerage home, reach out to DJ. He's always looking for great agents.
True.
Who need to hang their license in a great environment. If you're looking to join a team, contact Ben Lalez.
Ben's the guy.
Yeah. Did I hit everything?
I think we did. Except we just want to say thank you to our audience, and we want to also thank our audience on behalf of them for you, Ben, for you spending time. You are doing this in a very generous and gracious way. This is not lost on me either. I am so grateful for all of our people that come on our show, but you in particular, because you're on every month. You donate this time, this space, and it is really my honor to be able to hear what you want to say, because you are actually my audience. Is I want people like you listening, and I also want people like you on the show. So thank you so much. On behalf of Ben and myself, we want to thank this 5% of the real estate agent world that is tuning in right here to this podcast. And again, you are in a very special group. I want to say this. I don't say this enough. You are taking the time to try to improve your skill. Like, it's not about my ego. Like, I love it when people say thank you, and I really appreciate that, and really do that for anybody you listen to. Send them messages. It matters to them. But more importantly, I thank you, because you're the reason that I do this, because I feel good helping you, and I just want to help you get better. And I get to like make a few bucks doing this. I get to have a lot of fun doing it. So thank you. Tell a friend about the show. Leave us a review. That's one way that you can also help us. Tell us what you think of the show, whether you're Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to us on. Let us know what you think of the show. It's important. It helps us get more in front of people. And and just come back for the next episode.
See you next time.